What's going on, cigar world? What's going on, cigar enthusiasts? This is Jack, the cigar enthusiast, and I'm back with another video. And today we're talking about to freeze or not to freeze. With that being said, strap in, buckle up, and let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and give me a big thumbs up. With that being said, let's get into this segment about to freeze or not to freeze. And this is something that I see on the internet all the time that people are asking questions about, but yet they really don't understand. They know that some older guy that smokes cigars does this, and they been told through word of mouth that this is how you're supposed to do it. So with that being said, a lot of people are running around doing it and don't really understand why. They don't understand why they quote unquote put their cigars in the freezer. But I'm here to really tell the truth on not only why you shouldn't, but also if you do think you should, how you should properly do it. And that is something that I want to get through on this video. I'll sit here and tell you that you should freeze your cigars once you receive them in the mail for X, Y, and Z amount of time, and then refrigerate and then put in your humidor. And the purpose of that is to really kill tobacco beetles, which are not microorganisms, but they are a pesticide that you typically see on cigars that really have a poor rolling condition or poor storage condition, which these beetles will crawl up into the cigars, a warm, moist area that they can hatch their baby egg, produce more of this crap that we don't like, right? With that being said, people have over time figured out that the best way to kill off these tobacco beetles is to put them in a freezer. Tobacco beetles flourish in hot, humid areas. Our cigars are producing tobacco beetles, then we have a deeper problem than the beetles itself. We have a deeper problem because now, again, your proper humidity and temperature should be what? 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 70% humidity. That is an ideal situation. One thing about tobacco beetles, they flourish in, again, hot and humid areas. So you're talking 80 degrees, high humidities, which is like 80% humidity. Right now, we have a bigger problem than tobacco beetles. Majority of your cigars that you have in that humidor or wherever you're storing them at is about to go to crap, and it's about to go to crap, but really fast. So with that being said, that is really kind of my philosophy behind it. We have a deeper problem if you're sitting here trying to cure tobacco beetles. But let's get into the real problem, because nobody wants to hear, why or the beetles and all of this other stuff. So let's get into why. Back in the day, temperature and humidity was understood, but it wasn't understood to a science to the point where you can get a relatively close humidity that is perfect. At the point of this video, the point of this video is to really get to the point of why people are saying freeze or not to freeze your cigars. So with that being said, scientific research has proven that we know how to maintain and sustain a 70-70 rule, right? And there's also been scientific research that helps the farmers of the tobacco products minimize the production of tobacco beetles on the actual tobacco plants. Now, if you guys watch any type of video dealing with actually seeing a tobacco field, you will see that some people spray organic pesticides on the tobacco leaves to mitigate the spread of the tobacco beetles and all other pesticides that will ruin the tobacco leaves. But what you would see sometimes is have little holes in them. And those little holes is because there's tobacco beetles eating around it, right? So this same concept I want you to apply when you get your cigars in the mail, when you get them from a humidor, when you get them from Cuba, wherever you get your cigar from. I want you to do a very, very simple task. And that simple task is look at your cigar and see if you have little pinholes within your cigar. If you have little pinholes within your cigar, then that cigar has tobacco beetles. Now, if you don't, then 9 times out of 10 you're clear. But let's just say you put it in your humidor. You start to see this little tobacco dust or this fog within your actual humidor. You have a presentation of tobacco beetles, and not only do you have a presentation, you have to now go through your cigars and figure out which one is it. What is going to be the easiest indicator is those small pinholes within your cigar. We understood the purpose of it. We understand why people say it. We understand that how to spot the beetles. But let's really get into the point of this video. The point of this video is why you should not freeze your cigars. And I repeat, you should not freeze your cigar. People always say, well, Jack, Nick Perdomo do it at the Perdomo factory. Or they do it here. This is part of their growing process. They do it here, they do it there, they do it everywhere. Listen, I'm going to get in close because I want you guys to really pay attention here. There are very, very strict guidelines that you must follow when you're talking about freezing cigars. Otherwise, you're going to destroy a cigar within hours. I repeat, there is strict guidelines that you must follow. Otherwise, you're going to ruin cigars that you put in the freezer instantly. So one thing about cigars is flavors marinate, right? Cigars are notorious for this. That's why I made cellophane or no cellophane video. I made sure I really got detailed in the fact that you should keep your cellophane on your cigar, because otherwise your cigar flavors is going to start to marry with each other, and you could get a false understanding or a false palate reading of that cigar when you smoke it, especially if it sits like my cigar sits 6 months, a year at a time. So with that being said, you want to be very cautious about where in this freezer, if you're going to do it, you're going to put your cigars at. Now, the proper technique is to freeze for 24 to 48 hours and then refrigerate for 24 and then put in your humidor. That is the safe way to do it. Now, this is why I say don't do it. Cigars in there, it marinates with anything else that may be not sealed correctly, whether that is meat, whether that is the cauliflower pizza that you have in there, chicken tender, it does not matter. You're going to taste that, and it does not take long to do it. Have you ever tried to freeze a lettuce? You put it in the freezer, because people say you can freeze it, but when you take it out, it's going to unthaw. What happens to that lettuce? The structure of that lettuce degrades. The same concept applies to cigars. You put them in a freezer, the biggest thing that you're going to see is a deterioration in the structure of the cigar. Now, the second part is this. Now, you put this in the freezer to quote unquote kill tobacco beetles, right? And then you put them in your humidor. Now, what is freezers and refrigerators known for? They are very dry. Why? Because they want to preserve the foods that you put in there. Cigars are not meant to be very dry. When they're very dry, they crack. When they crack, they don't smoke well. When they don't smoke well, you just wasted money. Now you got to throw that cigar away. So the purpose of what I'm trying to really get you guys to understand is I understand what people tell you to do. But unless you are going to an actual farm or you're buying cigars from a non-reputable company, or you're buying cigars from a non-reputable brand, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to experience tobacco beetles. So if you're not going to experience tobacco beetles, then you do not, I repeat, you do not need to refrigerate or freeze your cigars. Put them in your humidor. When you get a mail call, when you get cigars received, one thing I always personally recommend when I get my cigars is put them in a controlled space for at least 7 days, because I need the temperatures to come down from all that traveling it did to get to me. Same concept applies to you guys. I'm doing my due diligence over here as, an owner of a cigar lounge and selling cigars. I'm doing my due diligence, but you also have to do the same thing, because as those cigars travel, they experience different temperatures. And yes, you have water pillows or Bobita packs or something in there to release moisture in there as those cigars dries out as they need it, but you do need to get that temperature down. Point of this message is very basic. Do not freeze your cigars unless you have a very, very, very strong feeling that you have tobacco beetles inside that cigar. How do you do that? You're going to have little pinholes on your cigars. Pinholes on your cigar, or when you put them in the actual humidor, I'm talking just a few days later, you're going to see a dust in your humidor, which means that you have tobacco beetles present in your humidor. The biggest thing from here now, if you have that situation, there's two things that you can do. And one, I'm going to highly recommend anyway. The first thing you can do is take that cigar and put it in your freezer. 48 hours, then refrigerate it for 24, and then put it in your humidor. Okay? Just understand this. Just because you did that, they don't freeze and then roll out the cigar and just die in your freezer. No, they still die in that cigar. So you're still going to eventually smoke them. All right? The second part is you can just throw it away. Throw it away. Remember what brand it was. Remember where you got it from, and don't shop there again. I'm not saying all their tobacco is bad, but 9 times out of 10, if they have tobacco beetles, then they have a poor storage quality, they have a poor quality control process, and their cigars are just simply not being stored in the correct elements it needs to be stored in. The key takeaway from this message is, do not freeze your cigars. If you feel like you have a representation of tobacco beetles inside a cigar, examine the cigar before you put it in your humidor. You should be doing that anyway. I don't care who you get your cigars from. Whether it's Dapper D's, God dang Cohiba. It does not matter. Examine your cigars to figure out and make sure, one, they're high quality, and then two, there is no representation of those tobacco beetles. Secondly, put them in your humidor for a couple of days. Allow that temperature and moisture to come back in from all that travel, and then smoke them. Do not freeze your cigars, guys. Come on. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast. I hope you guys was able to really take away some key facts and proven facts based on freezing and not freezing your cigar, and really come up with a detailed understanding of what you should do, right? So with that being said, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give me a big thumbs up on this video and press that notification bell so you can get updated on all the latest content that Jack the Cigar Enthusiast posts day in and day out. And also, if you're still looking for a cigar home or to buy your cigars, go check out DapperDCigars.com, man. We have a phenomenal selection of cigars, and we're the home of affordable, premium, and boutique cigars. So that means that you're going to get a fair market price on your cigars. None of that $12 for a $2 stick. We're not doing that. We're here to not only make sure that you are able to get your favorite cigar, but get it at a great price. With that being said, also go follow me on Facebook at Dapper D Cigars, as well as Instagram at Dapper D Cigars as well. And tune in every Sunday for our live virtual smoke that is live on Facebook at Dapper D Cigars, or my personal page, Darian Jackson, or you can go on to that YouTube channel right here and tune in. We're having an exclusive live segment of Virtual Smoke Deck tonight as we're doing our monthly subscription giveaway. If you haven't subscribed to Dapper D Cigars, go on DapperDCigars.com, hit that subscribe button, fill out a couple of information so you can win what we're giving away in August. And must I tell you, we are giving away some good stuff in August. For my cigar smokers, we're giving away humidors, ashtrays, cigar cases, and a cutter that goes with it, along with some cigars. So, man, I hope you guys are ready. Thank you guys so much for your support. With that being said, I'm Jack the Cigar Enthusiast, and I'm going.